you started off being born in the Amazon jungle. I imagine it's quite a wild situation to be born into, isn't it?
I started learning Jiu Jitsu after my dad passed away, so that's when I have to leave the jungle and go to the big city.
Jiu Jitsu became your new family.
Yeah.
It became your mother, it became your father, it became everything to you.
Yeah, I have become the best in the world in every belt level, gi and no gi. The blue, purple, brown and black. To be champion on the mats is one thing, but be the champion in life is a different thing as well. And Jiu Jitsu did that to me, and I want to be able to give it to other people. And now it's like trying to keep repeating, like I'm trying to be watching more time so I can get to the Hall of Fame. So I want to put my name in the Hall of Fame of Jiu Jitsu.
First and the youngest ever to do what you do at 23 years old.
Yeah.
There was one piece of advice, some wisdom that you could drop on the world from everything you've been through. What would that be to you?
So that together we have clarity, direction, and success way beyond what we ever previously thought possible. Here's your host, Frankie Lee.
Quick one before we jump into this podcast. Do me a solid favor, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and drop a comment below this video. If you're looking to remove images, videos, search results, or fake accounts online, go to contentremoval.com, but don't take my word for it. Here's some music.
Frank, you're a fucking legend. I just saw this. Layla also thinks you're a legend, which in my mind means you're which means you're a double legend in my mind. If you get my wife to think you're a legend, then you're extra cool in my mind. Dude, thank you so much, genuinely. That was such a pain.
Welcome back to the Frankie Lee podcast. Today, guys, you are joining me in one of the most decorated jiu-jitsu athletes gyms the world has ever seen. The man himself, the myth, the legend, Thalison Soares, the man born in the Amazon jungle, and he went all the way through life and just absolutely smashed it, mate. Welcome to your gym. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
The most humble dude I've ever met in any form of martial arts, and I've met quite a few people in this space. But mate, honestly, when you whipped my ass for 4 rounds the other weekend, I was like, mate, this guy's unbelievable. But mate, obviously you started off being born in the Amazon jungle. Give me a bit of an insight into what that's actually like, because I imagine it's quite a wild situation to be born into, isn't it?
First, thank you for coming and having me in your podcast and share a bit of my history and journey so far. Well, yeah, it's very, let's say, hard, the lifestyle there, because you just, you have to do what you have to do. Like, you have to work since a young age to help the family and everything, so you don't get the opportunity to be a kid.
Yeah. So you don't even. Is it like when you're born in the Amazon? Is it like you're born into adulthood straight away?
Yeah, straight away. Yeah.
So what kind of things you have to undertake as a child in the Amazon that people like us in the Western world don't appreciate?
Well, there was so many life skills that I did learn really early, that, for example, I don't see kids that have this kind of skill here, don't even learn here, learn how to fish, very early, hunting, and it's everything.
So when you're born as a boy in the Amazon jungle, you're brought into a life where your dad is teaching you these skills like fishing, like hunting in the jungle and stuff like that. What kind of stuff was your dad teaching you how to hunt and stuff like that?
Yeah, you grow up in that environment, right? So it's very normal. You want to learn as well. You want to become a good hunter. You want to become a good, a fisherman. Everything. So the more you can do, the earlier you can learn all these skills, the more set you are as well, the more you can help the family. So my dad used to share it all with me as well, trying to... So back in that time, it was only me and him, so I had to help at home. So this the only way to survive, I had to help him. Did not have the option of not helping at home, but I did really enjoy it.
Was your mother not around at this point?
No, my parents not together. Yeah, so it was just me and my dad.
So how early did your mum leave your life?
She left. I was 4 or 5. Yeah, very young.
Was it hard growing up at that early age without a mother figure in your life?
Yeah, it was really hard. Especially later on to connect and learn all the more sentimental side of being a human being was really difficult for me. Especially just having a dad and trying to kind of give a perspective on that, but not. I won't say did not do well, but did the best he could.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But you didn't really get to learn the softer side and maybe the emotional side that your mother can give you as a child growing up.
For sure. The caring and the, all that.
So as you were going through life in the Amazon and you're growing up there and everything's, I suppose you didn't have any perspective over money or anything like this.
No.
So what's it like being brought up in a society then where money's not the thing that you're brought up to chase?
Well, like life there is super simple, like you just basically like you born there and died there, and you're just gonna that you help the community, help the family. Like do get from the nature what nature gives to you, and use that kind of thing to trade, and then get bit of money, but just to buy things like you don't have that, you can't get access to it, but most of the thing you don't even learn about it until you like go to the big cities and stuff like that. So
what age were you when you first saw a big city? Because I can't imagine you were too far close to a big city out in the Amazon jungle.
That is one day by boat. So it's a long travel to that. I went a few times, like back and forth, going to the big city, like when my parents was like kind of getting away, But I don't remember much, but not much. I used to go just for like a week or something like this, and back to there.
Is that where you discovered on your first trip to the city? Is that where you discovered Jiu Jitsu, or did your dad start teaching you that, or how did you come into Jiu Jitsu?
No, I started learning Jiu Jitsu after my dad passed away. So that's when I have to leave the jungle and go to the big city because I have no one to live, so I had to back to live with my mom. So then is when I started to adapt to the whole society, and that's when like I had some friend that was in the neighborhood that was doing jiu-jitsu back in the time, and they told me that I should get into it.
Mate, it must have been a crazy experience. Obviously, you being brought up without your mother figure in your life, and then all of a sudden you wake up one day and your dad's gone. Talk to me about how kind of you felt as a child. Did you kind of feel like abandoned as in some form or another, or how did you feel at that point?
For sure, I never had like a very strong bond with my mom, because she wasn't present in my life, and just not having that feeling that she did abandon me, and when I was really young and did not grow up with her, was really difficult. Not just to connect back to her, but to connect to everyone as well. I was the type of the kid that did not want to talk to anybody. Was only very few people that did really I could express myself.
Because you were brought up speaking a language called 2P, right?
Yeah.
And your mum didn't speak that?
No.
So you're now, just so people can get a context, you've left, your dad's died, obviously you're heartbroken at this point. You've had to leave the Amazon jungle to be reconnected with a mother that you haven't seen since 4 years old, who now, your mum speaks Portuguese, but you speak a language called 2P, which is one of the languages of the Amazon jungle. Yeah. That's that first day when you walk in and see your mum for the first time, how do you even begin at that age to communicate how you feel, what you're going through, and everything else? How did she even receive you?
I didn't. I didn't. Like I just went to school and started learning. I knew like how to speak Portuguese like a little bit, not enough. But then I went to school to learn, and everything. And after my dad passed away, so my mom had to raise me and another two sisters, so all communication was really bad as well, because she had to work the whole day. So we had the side of, we did not have much connection when I grew up with her, but then we had the side that the time was pretty bad as well. Like she would to leave like very early in the morning and back like late, so we could not really connect on that. Get like a normal relationship, and get a touch of feelings. And because I really kind of had my thing, I had what to do, like to go to school, and then that's when I started training jiu-jitsu. Then when I really like got away as well of it. So we basically would go home just to sleep.
So basically, then, from what you just said, I'm kind of feeling that you, when your dad passed away, that you felt that you'd lost the only family you kind of had.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, jiu-jitsu became your new family.
Yeah.
And,
exactly
and it became your mother, it became your father, it became everything to you. Is that kind of how it was?
That was exactly it. I just the only person I had in my life was my dad. That he was let's say a hero for me and everything. And lost him pretty fast. Was he had a heart attack. He died on my arms. He had a heart attack and died in your arms. Yeah. So he died on my arms and I think since that, I just shut down and I was not able to express myself and connect to anyone. And then when I started training jiu-jitsu, that's when I started to make friends, start to getting to know people, and just the back and forth, changing from the jungle to then the big city, and then and the struggle with my mother because she could not afford rent and all that. We always had to change as well, change school, change all that. So I never could connect to anybody, build friendships and all that.
So you literally traveling around jiu-jitsu gym to jiu-jitsu gym.
Yeah.
And obviously, because you're not earning money at this stage, how are you paying to even fund your training?
So that's when I started as a social project. Some people, a lot of people in Brazil do this kind of project. They take the martial art to people that can't afford it, and I'm one of these kids. And
so they literally bring you into jiu-jitsu, and jiu-jitsu, like I said before, becomes your family, becomes your culture, teaches you all the life skills and also helps you build a network then that you can lean on and grow through and
for sure.
accentuate your purpose. How long were you in jiu-jitsu before you thought to yourself, do you know what, this is me now, this is my thing?
Straight away.
Literally,
straight away.
First day, yeah.
Yeah, I felt the very first few weeks, all the problems that it brings, trying to solve all that made me really fall in love with it. And then with a lot of time and a lot of dedication, if I put enough time to it, I think I can get good at it, and fell in love with it straight away.
I was showing one of my friends your Instagram profile the other day, and he said to me when I can't remember the guy's name, but he said the guy that you were with when you won the world title is one of the most decorated trainers in the space.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Professor Guilherme Mendes.
Yeah. My mate was dumbfounded because he's like, this guy is legit. He's, other than the Gracies, this guy is a proper OG in the space. He's a weapon. And he taught you pretty much everything you know, right?
No, I started because I had to move a lot and going to America as well, very early. I had to go to different schools, but I went to start training with him not long ago, but because I didn't have that foundation already of technique and all that, was easy to kind of get his coaching and transfer for myself, learn all that skills. And then this year, we won the world title together.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. What a long journey that is as well, because what probably a lot of people at this point won't understand is you went from the Amazon to Sao Paulo, and you become part of this project and this jiu-jitsu family, and then from what I believe is you got to a certain level in jiu-jitsu in Sao Paulo where you thought you needed to move again. Yeah.
So first I moved from Manaus, so that's the capital of the Amazon.
Yeah.
So that's where I started training, and because there is really hard to get to compete and to get sponsorship and kind of build a career on top of that.
So are there big cities in the Amazon?
Yeah.
I didn't realize this. I was literally thinking you was in the jungle with 30 people. So you're saying there's
that's massive cities there as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's in the jungle.
Yep, in the jungle.
So I was just trying to get my head around it, because obviously we've talked about this off the podcast as well. But I was trying to name all these. I'm like, so have you met these animals and stuff like this? Like, but you were telling me like you've met like massive anacondas and all this stuff, and had to kill them and like had to wrestle all this stuff, and you like you're living a life like Tarzan, basically.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like that.
It's just crazy for me to comprehend that you're having to deal with all that wildlife.
Yeah.
You know, and you were telling me about the cats that you kind of had to stay away from in the jungle.
Yeah.
There's some like proper predatory cats in there, like leopards and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're just literally in your space, like roaming around.
Yeah, like especially growing up, like I had to be really careful because it could eat me. Some animals that you don't want to be exposed to them, otherwise you will not make it to the second day.
It's crazy, but obviously when you're a young kid, like 2-3, you don't know the difference between. But how are they protecting you? Because like I've seen some of these Amazonian jungle families out there on these documentaries, right? And those kids are just running around doing what they want. How are they imposing these life skills on you so you can deal with that?
I think you kind of just born with it. Like you're just born with it. Yeah, just a normal thing.
Just a normal everyday thing.
Yeah.
So you going back to it, you stepped out the Jiu Jitsu gym and obviously started to win competitions in Sao Paulo.
Yeah. So that's when I moved from back in 2015. 14, 15, when I moved to São Paulo just to compete more and to get more training, get more experience, learn from different people.
Is that when you started to get towards blue belt? Or?
Yeah, that's when I got my blue belt. I got my blue belt in Manaus, and then I moved to São Paulo.
Because you became blue belt world champion, didn't you?
Yeah, when I was 16.
So when we're talking a while back, you were saying that. Because I know the Gracies, and obviously they're some of the most decorated people in Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah.
But you said you were the first one that's ever done the quadruple, right?
Yeah. So that the Grand Slam. So that's the big competitions. Like IBJJF, that's the biggest federation. They run like 4 big events a year. That's the Europeans, Pans, Brazilian National, and Worlds. That's the hardest competition to win. Like to win one of these is really difficult already, and I have won 4 of them. Like I did 1 Grand Slam, so that's winning 4, and I did 4 Grand Slam.
You've done 4 Grand Slams?
Yeah.
So you've won 4 times.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
And didn't you also won gi and no gi, right?
Yeah, so I have won awards, become the best in the world in every belt level, gi and no gi. The blue, purple, brown, and black. Gi and no gi. So been dominating in both sports.
Oh, fucking hell, mate. That's mental, mate. That's absolutely mental. So, okay, give me some... Obviously, my audience, they've got businesses. They're listening, doing sport at a high level. They're trying to be the best versions of themselves. The essence of this podcast is essentially to break patterns and flip perspectives in their life, mindset, their business, to take themselves forward. In regards to how you've obviously been through a hell of a lot of adversity in your life, how do you train your mind to give yourself the fortitude to be able to achieve what you've achieved?
You just want to be able to transform all the adversity that you're facing and get that to a motivation that becomes a discipline, and just keep building momentum on that. And always come back to having a vision of where you want to be and who you want to be, and work hard to do that every day. And I always had that inside me that I wanted to do something big and different of everyone, build something, amazing legacy for myself. And I've been loyal to that since I started.
So you had a vision for yourself from day one.
Yeah.
Similar to the way that I feel about this podcast and how it lights me up, and how we were talking before. It's like, how you feel like your purpose on the planet. You had that same feeling.
Yeah, I had the same feeling very young. I was 13. When I felt I could do it, and and I was going to make that happen.
I didn't understand though, Thalison, that a lot of people see people like me and you who they see lit up doing what they're doing. They see them lit up and they're out there and they're doing what they love and they're following their passion. And a lot of people always ask me all the time, how did I find that? And my advice is just to try lots more things and give yourself lots more opportunities to find out what you're most passionate about. But what would your piece of advice be to people out there that look at someone like you who's so lit up, who's so in love with what he does and so on purpose? How can they possibly go and find what you've found in jiu-jitsu, but for themselves in what they're meant to be doing?
I think expose yourself to as much different things as you can, be like a very curious about everything, and then see what you like the most. I think when you love something so bad, you don't care what it's gonna take. You're gonna give the best to achieve it, and to build whatever you want on top of that. So I think exposing yourself to different things, different art, different like business, and learn from different people, get inspiration from people that did amazing in their life as well, and and trying to get the salt of inspiration, take that for yourself.
Yeah, I fully feel you on that, because it's like with everything you did. I mean, you then took yourself from Sao Paulo to New York, and what people don't realize is you slept on the mats for like years. For years. And you were doing jiu-jitsu how many hours a day?
Yeah, basically the whole day long, but I would say at least like 4 or 5 hours a day. Like every day.
Just fighting whoever was coming in the gym. All weights.
But all studying as well, drilling a lot of techniques, rolling everyone,
So
testing against the best guys.
So what do you think it takes then in order to transform yourself to take that passion and then to turn it into your fundamental art that you're best at, which you are, and I'm trying to be in the pursuit of in podcasting? What's that fundamental shift that has to happen to transform that into that?
I think it's just more time into it, like a studying and dedicating yourself into it, and really like a trust in the process of like you're gonna achieve what you want to achieve, and that's what gonna push you harder and harder to always go for the next level.
Yeah, I feel you. It's just. I really think there's so much like that. I believe in my heart of hearts, mate, that there's something out there for everybody. I just think that they've got to go and find it. And I think a lot of people they struggle to execute doing enough things to be able to find what that is to them. And obviously, when you was teaching me jiu-jitsu, like even the basics the other weekend. You can tell that there's jiu-jitsu and there's jiu-jitsu artists.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference between someone who does jiu-jitsu and jiu-jitsu artists, someone who loves the craft. And it's when we were wrestling, right? And you had me tied up in knots. One thing I realized, and what I recognized from the boxing side of things, was the fact of how relaxed you are in the process of like you essentially you're in a war, but you're so relaxed, mate, and you're so relaxed. Do you think that then the more adversity in life that you put yourself through, the more relaxed you can feel doing the reps and everything that they go through? Yeah,
for sure. I think anything that you're gonna do hard, if you keep doing over and over and over, that's eventually start to not become easy, but start to master it. You start to understand how you do it and how you're going to find your way out of it, and how you're going to position yourself better. For example, give a jiu-jitsu example. And because you do that so many times, like you basically can understand what is the next step, and that's when you can find like trying to be calm in that situation, because you know what's going to happen. You understand what's the scenario you're in, like you don't freak out, you just keep yourself, stay calm, and everything going to fall in place.
Why Australia though, mate? Because obviously you don't see the kind of decorated champions in the game like you are in Australia.
Yeah, I think that was my whole vision on that. Like when I came here for the first time, I saw the opportunity to be the first one to do it. To be like a decorator and come here and build something, and that people. like when I was telling you about my legacy, that's something that I also want to do. I want to be a very good coach and be able to develop another champions, and that's like how I want my legacy to look like, and I'll be able to develop and give back to the community what Jiu-Jitsu did for me. I'm not driven by all the stuff. I'm just driven by seeing people like trying to do their best and trying to become champions, and of course that to be champion in life as well, right? Like to be champion on the mats is one thing, but be the champion in life is a different thing as well. And Jiu-Jitsu did that to me, and I want to be able to give it to other people. And when I came to Australia for the first time, I said, like, yeah, no one's here. No one's doing here. So I think that's where I'm going to start. That's where I'm going to start developing the project of build champions.
do you believe in, like, the law of attraction then? Because, like, if you look at everything that you have, coming from the Amazon jungle to have a gym like this, obviously you've attracted things into your life through putting in the work that you've attracted financial backers, you've attracted sponsors, you've attracted the ability to be able to stay in Australia, you've created the first world champion that Australia's ever had in its history. Like, you're attracting a lot of things into your life. There must be some form of ways. How are you basically visioning this? How are you laying it out? Is it something you wake up every day and you visualize, or how are you bringing that all together?
I think what I believe that good people connect to each other. I think that's we as human beings are always trying to do good, and I think when we see someone really putting the work and dedicating themselves, like we want to get close to them. If there is some way we can help and make them achieve it, we there for that. I think I always had these people, and they saw me putting the work and trying to achieve my dreams, and because they've been through it or they never did it, or I don't know the reasons, but that's how we connected, and yeah, just on that.
It seems like Australia as a country, as a people, are really backing you here. Like they're really, like when I walked in the gym earlier, and you had a class on, and you could see how much not only respect there was between all of you as artists in terms of like jiu-jitsu artists, but you could see how much respect there was for you being here to coach them. I mean, they know that jiu-jitsu in this country is leveling up because you're here, because you're bringing in other talent. I can feel that energy, So what's that must be a real humbling thing for you.
Yeah, it's amazing. I feel great to be honest. Like, I just having everyone appreciate for my jiu-jitsu, like for what I see of jiu-jitsu, and them trying to transform into techniques where they also can get out of it, and be able to improve and achieve their own goals and be able to dream as well. Like, it's very rewarding to see kids dreaming to be the best in the world, and giving that back to them as well. It's being there for them, being present, being a coach there for them, make my heart happy.
There must have been like a 12 or 13-year-old here. I can't remember. I don't know his name.
Yeah, Phoenix,
right? This kid's going to be good, mate.
Yeah, he's going to be amazing.
He is really good.
Yeah.
I was watching him, and I watched how he moved and positioned himself, and I had a mad respect for the level that this kid's at. Like, how old is he?
He's 12.
And is he? I mean, he's the one that I saw in the whole room, and I thought, you're different level.
Yeah, he's a different kid.
Is that? Have I picked the right one in terms of like who's going to be your next champion?
Yeah. We have a few others, like younger than him, but he's the oldest one. He's a leader for all the kids. Yeah. Because when we started the school here 2 years ago, he was like one of the first one and putting the work and dedicating himself and really committed to learn and learn the art as well and asking so many questions, trying to get as much knowledge he could get, and trying to transform that into skills, being a motivation to the young ones as well. And then you have other group of killers here that for sure gonna come out soon, winning everything.
So how many years are we away from seeing this school dominate globally?
I think like 10 years we're gonna see the kids come out of here with their foundation of techniques and mindset and dedication, like really taking them to a different level and taking jiu-jitsu as well to a different level.
What is it you think sets jiu-jitsu out from all other martial arts in terms of why people should get a part of this? Like, if you're going to tell me, Frankie, you should start jiu-jitsu, why should I start it?
It can give you so many answers on that. You know, like a jiu-jitsu is like a life tool for everything. Nothing gonna be harder than this. Nothing. And there's so many levels to it. Like the more you think you're getting better, then there's someone that can beat you and keep humbling you, and you know, you're always gonna be under pressure. The pressure you put in yourself, but the pressure for other people put on you as well, in the sense of they're also trying things on you. You know, they're also trying to get better and create that competition environment. But they're also like community environment, because we need to support each other. If we want to both to progress, I can't progress by myself. I need you. But if I want to get good, I need to make you good.
So literally, jiu-jitsu then, what you've just described, this is why so many people in business do jiu-jitsu then. You're basically saying that, you know, because in business you need to communicate with your suppliers, you need to communicate with other people to be able to level up your business and other entrepreneurs, right? Yeah. And that's essentially what you're saying, jiu-jitsu, that's what jiu-jitsu is, right? On a sporting level, and that's probably why there's more entrepreneurs, I reckon, in jiu-jitsu than anything else.
For sure.
I've never seen this many high-level entrepreneurs in boxing. Put it that way. A lot of boxing background was low socioeconomic kids coming from a hard background, kids that were bullied, kids that just wanted more for themselves. They come to the boxing gym. That was that environment. But in jiu-jitsu, I see like entrepreneurs achieving $100 million valuations, this, that, and the other. And it doesn't matter what level you are in jiu-jitsu. At the end of the session, you all line up in a belt order down this mat, and you all shake each other's hand, and you go out. And I just thought, when I watched that happen, and I'd never seen it before, I thought, fuck, that's beautiful, man. Because there's no martial art that I know of that has that much respect at the start and finish of a session. Because like I've left boxing gyms before, and I've just wanted to go and get someone back for battering me in the ring. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't see you leaving here with any animosity.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of respect, you know, like on the mat, like it's a place where you can like really show who you are, you know, just gonna expose who you are very early, you know, if you have ego, whatever gonna expose it, but also gonna humble you, gonna transform you as well. And on the mat, like we see everyone weekly, you know, we don't see I'm better than you, you better than me. You know, like if I know something, I can share with you. If you know something, you can share with me. You know, like I can submit you, but I know you can submit me back tomorrow. So what's the point of having ego on that? You know, so people come here and choke each other and, you know, trying to break each other's arm. No, they don't. But at the end, they understand that having the other person there for them is what makes them better. You know.
Well, I kind of felt when I was sat here watching, I kind of felt. You turn up. You may have had the hardest day in your life, but you turn up. It's like you find peace, then you find chaos in the rolls and all this stuff after the techniques and stuff, and then you also leave the room peaceful.
Yeah, for sure.
So you've not had any time in that, and this is another reason why I think most entrepreneurs do jiu-jitsu over any other martial art, is because in their daily lives, they might have been through so much chaos. They might have had an argument with their missus in the morning, this, that, and the other, but you don't get any time to think about that when you're over here fighting this killer who's like 12 years old, who's going to absolutely annihilate you if you don't get your act together.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get any time to think about all that kind of stuff. Is that?
Yeah, you really have to align your mind and your body here. Like, you can't be on the mat and think on business or think on relationship, because otherwise you won't be able to do it. You know, so basically people come here knowing that already. They know they're gonna have to be fully present on the moment to learn the techniques if they want to progress in it. They're gonna have to be fully present on the moment if they want to have a good roll. You know, if they don't want to just get smashed all the way. And then that's how they find the balance on it. You know, everyone that come here, like you said, you know, probably is going through something at the work or the business or at home. But they come here, they know they're gonna feel good, you know. People gonna be there for them, smiling for them, you know, looking forward to see them on the mat as well, you know. Because we training partners, we message each other, you know. Are you training today? Let's go, let's train, you know. So always like the pushing, like trying to lift each other. That can change the day of anybody, You know,
I tell you what, I think you convinced me to start jiu-jitsu.
you should.
I've been doing some. I did some private sessions. Obviously, I've had a go with you for 3 or 4 rounds of you tying me in knots, and then my mate who's a brown belt's been teaching me some stuff, like teaching me how to shrimp out the side and all this kind of stuff, like teaching me some movements on his balcony. And but after seeing what I've seen today in here, there was a missing piece that I just feel got put in today, and the piece was the only way I can communicate it to you lot listening is like, you turn up, you may have had some chaos in the outside of your life, like I just said, but it's like you find a peace within yourself, and that peace allows you, the peace that you find in jiu-jitsu must allow you to find other peace in other parts of your life where there's a little bit of chaos. So I only imagine, and you tell me if I'm correct or not, but I only imagine that it just takes your life from this and just makes it more
fluid. Like, you know, it's basically you try to use the knowledge of jiu-jitsu to real life situations, you know, like because in jiu-jitsu, you're going to be most of the time, like when you start, like in bad spot. Yeah. But you can, like, let's say, fight so hard against it, but you can stay calm and try to think, what is my way out of here? And there's a technique for everything, you know, and if you can stop and stay calm and think how you're going to escape from there and don't expose yourself to a worse scenario, you're going to find your way out of there. You know? So
it's like a whole analogy for life. Then.
Yeah,
it's like your back's against the wall. How am I going to get myself out of this situation? I suppose like when you come into the real world, nothing can be as bad as being in an armbar or a chokehold over there. In essence, is what you're trying to say, isn't it? And it's like, that's beautiful. I mean, how you've obviously come to Australia, and after you've obviously repaired this relationship with your mother and you've gone around the world and you've become this jiu-jitsu like superstar in essence because of all the stuff that you've achieved and you're well recognized in your sport, and then you meet this beautiful woman. This beautiful woman comes into your life. How did you have the ability to accept that into your life, having not really gelled with your mother?
Because I never had that feeling inside. I think I always was searching for it. You know, as something that I was always curious about. You know, like how to learn about it and all that. And because I did not actually have the experience, I had to like learn through books and all that. And I have to read a lot about it. And then of course trying to get experience of different people and trying to build on that and trying to kind of be ready for it.
So you learned about relationships through reading books.
Yeah.
What books were you reading about? Like The Way of the Superior Man and stuff like that.
Yeah, things like this.
Yeah, and mate, I've read a lot of these books myself to try and become a better future partner for anyone that I meet. You know what I mean? Like as a man, I don't know how old are you?
I'm 23.
You're 23, right? Yeah. You've smashed life, mate, at 23. As a 34-year-old man myself, once you get past 30, mate, you think to yourself, do you know what? No more of that fucking around bullshit, all that crap that you're going through. You got to work on becoming the best version of yourself as a man, and then you attract into your life. I think because of the adversities you faced as a kid in the Amazon, and because of having to go to Sao Paulo so early and becoming, you know, you're probably the youngest ever, are you? To do what you've done as well.
Yeah, the first and
the youngest ever to do what you do at 23 years old.
Yeah.
No wonder you have the maturity and you hold the maturity the way you do. That is all down to jiu-jitsu and the way that it's brought you through. I can see it in you. But it's amazing that someone like yourself, even though you're a world champion over here, you've been willing enough to educate yourself and read books on things that you don't know about to become better. And when you started to educate yourself on relationships and how relationships were formed with women and all that kind of stuff, when you put your time and heart and soul into that, did opportunities start to present themselves because you were turned up to the world different?
Yeah. I was trying to in jiu-jitsu, I was trying to achieve like the greatest level ever, you know, and I always did believe that I would never be able to achieve like the level that I am today and the level I still want to achieve being a bad person. You know, I always did believe I had to be as good a human being as I wanted to be in Jiu-Jitsu, you know, trying to find a balance, like not only raise the bar of being an athlete, but as a person as well.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah, I can see the way you've approached it, and it's a very noble way to approach any form of art.
Yeah,
and that's what I want people to understand. Like you even how you've constructed your relationship and how you've gone about that and educating yourself it's all you treat everything like it's an art, and you have to learn. What is next for you though? Because obviously, 10-time world champion at 23 years old, like, you know, you've annihilated everybody. You even competed at open class and annihilated everyone at open class, right?
Yeah. I used to do it when I was younger. Yeah.
So
with the open weights and everything.
And you are 59 kilos.
Yeah.
Now I'm 75 as I sit here, and you bounce me around like fucking like I was a feather, right? So I can only imagine what you're doing to guys that are 95, 100 kilos. You just fold them in half, like, and people don't understand that. But what's next? What is next for you? What are you going to achieve?
For me now is like trying to keep repeating, like trying to be watching more time so I can get to the Hall of Fame. So I want to put my name in the Hall of Fame of Jiu-Jitsu. So my name stay in the books
How are you not
forever.
in that? How are you not in that already?
Too young. Yeah, most of people there did achieve it like basically the end of the career and after that. So
how far are you behind the Gracie boys, or in terms of the number of titles, or
yeah, that depends. I think they did a different way, you know, like they did like a path the way for Jiu-Jitsu and like take the Jiu-Jitsu around the world. No, few of them did like become like a very like successful, but in Jiu-Jitsu we have different divisions, you know. So basically, like each division have like a guy that won so many times, you know, and they're just trying to break their records and all that, you know. And for example, if I give an example, like for the Grace, Roger did won 10 times, but he won, but only the black belt.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, only the black belt.
You've done it at blue. You've done it at purple,
brown, black, and yeah. So I have 2 as a black belt now.
So if you win another 8 as black belt, you match him as well.
Yeah.
So you've got to win every year until you're like 30 odd. Basically.
Yeah. But then because I compete gi and no gi, I can get 2 world titles a year.
I don't understand how you're doing gi and no gi though, because aren't people just suited to one? Yeah.
People specialize themselves in one thing. I did specialize myself in both.
So how have you done that? How are you? Yeah, mate, I don't understand how you're doing that. Do enlighten me, because I really want to know. Like, how are you performing at that level in both gi and no gi?
It's just trying to transfer, and translate one technique to the other. You know, if you're trying to really dig myself into something that I know will be hard to get out of that. So then I'm trying to build my strategy on top of what would work for both. You know, and be ready for different scenarios, you know, and just training, and I did always believe that one helped the other as well. So like the adjustments and, you know, placement and movements does translate one to the other, and because I did, you know, master the movements very very early, like That was easy. Not easy in the sense of it's easy to win. It's easy to translate one to the other, you know, and just put in the work and put the commitment, be able to achieve it.
Yeah, and you also train a lot of celebrities. Kind of, I've seen you train a few celebrities and a few of their kids as well, like the Hemsworth boys. Yeah. They bring their children in.
Yeah.
I mean that just shows you how far you'll come. Do you teach them jiu-jitsu as well, or just the boys?
Just the boys, yeah. Chris said he wants to start training as well, but he has a busy schedule.
Yeah, you how long do you reckon it take you to turn Chris Hemsworth into a killer at jiu-jitsu?
I don't think it won't take that long. Yeah, he had some lessons before as well. You know, like for his job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he knows the technique, and the kids teach him as well.
So you make all your money these days through doing jiu-jitsu and seminars?
Yeah, teaching, mainly teaching.
So you've literally made a sport you found that gave you the feeling of home. You've turned that into everything. You've turned it into your living. You've turned it into your life. You turned it into practice, and it facilitates every part of your life.
Yeah, for sure. It's all you want.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, I'm dumbfounded by this. As we're going through this, you see, I'm learning a lot about myself here.
Yeah.
You don't realise it. I'm learning so much, because this is a very because how you approach everything about jiu-jitsu is how I've approached from day one this podcast. And how I'm building it, because it's from a place of love, and then you can learn and accentuate. And when you get to talk to people like yourself, you can't help but listen and take in so much value from journeys, man. But mate, I just want to say, like, mate, you've blown my mind with your whole journey and everything you've achieved, and I wish you every fucking success moving forward.
Thank you so much.
But if there was one piece of golden advice, some wisdom that you could drop on the world, from your life lessons in jiu-jitsu, from everything you've been through, in order to take people to the next level of life, to break pattern slip perspectives, what would that be to you?
Yeah, believe in your dreams, work hard for it, surround yourself with good people, people that are going to push you, people that challenge you, and believe that you're going to make it to it.
Love that. And that, my friends, is Thalison Soares, and he's a weapon. I will tag him. I'll click the link below this video. Click the link below this if you listen on Spotify and Apple. Follow him on Instagram. You can't help but be inspired. I just wanted to take the opportunity today to share what your love of jiu-jitsu with an audience of people that I think, if they find something beyond business and beyond just making money to fall in love with a martial art, that they can use that knowledge and impart those ways into their business, into making more money, and it'll just all flow from there. And that's why I wanted you on, mate, to share that journey and to share your learnings of a life of jiu-jitsu. Guys, do me a solid favor, subscribe to this on every platform. If you could also share it on social media and put it in as many ears as possible, I appreciate it on all levels. We are smashing it on all my targets, but I just want to keep pushing this thing forward. I don't believe there's any podcast in the game, especially in Australia or the UK, that anyone that does podcasting that loves it as much as me and that wants to see you all win. So I hope you feel that. I hope you listen to that in every episode, and much love. Guys, do me a solid favor. Drop a comment below this video and let us know who you want on the podcast next.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Frankie Lee Podcast.